Attorney General? Or do you want to go there? Are you serious? Talking about anti-Semitism to a woman who lost her grandfather in the Holocaust because he was the next-door neighbor.
Shame on you.
Oh, for goodness sakes. This is pathetic. This is pathetic, Mr. Chair. By 2008, we knew that Epstein was a convicted sexual abuser. And we now know that Lutnick went to Epstein's Island in 2012. Attorney General Bondi, yes or no, has the Justice Department asked Secretary Lutnick about his ties to Epstein?
Excuse me. Secretary Lutnick has addressed those ties himself.
I'm asking you, has the Justice Department specifically asked Secretary Lutnick about his ties to Jeffrey Epstein?
He has addressed those ties himself.
Has the DOJ asked Secretary Phelan about his ties to Jeffrey Epstein?
I don't know whether he has addressed those or not.
Has the Deputy Secretary Feinberg talked to the Department of Justice about his ties to Jeffrey Epstein? Yes or no? Has the Department of Justice talked to Deputy Secretary Feinberg about his ties to Jeffrey Epstein, which are clearly spelled out in the files? It's a very simple question. It's not a trick question. I'm just asking you.
Yeah, I'm stunned that you want to continue talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Epstein
Okay,
instead
I'm
of a
reclaiming my time. I'm asking you not a trick question, a simple question. Okay, so what is clear is we have evidence.
Do you know who Chris Malin is?
We have evidence that 3 senior officials within the Trump administration have ties to Jeffrey Epstein. And what
does ties mean?
I can conclude from what you are saying that you have not talked to them.
What does ties mean?
I think Americans would be shocked to learn that you are not interested in talking with these officials who have ties to Jeffrey Epstein.
What does ties mean? Can you define that?
Across the world, prominent men who've been exposed in the files have resigned their jobs in disgrace. And that's a good first start. And that same standard,
not saying the word Chris Malin.
Standard should apply here. And Americans want accountability.
Who is Chris Malin?
Was the president aware? Please stop talking. It is not your time to ask questions. It is not your time. I'm reclaiming my time, Mr. Chair.
Time belongs to the gentlelady from Vermont.
Was the president aware of Secretary Lutnick's ties to Epstein when he chose him to lead the Department of Commerce? Was he aware?
Chris Malin was a Border Patrol agent.
Okay, so I'm going to conclude that the president, in fact, did know about his ties because he was the next-door neighbor.
Shame on you.
Oh, for goodness sakes. This is pathetic. This is pathetic, Mr. Chair. I am not asking trick questions here. The American people have a right to know the answers to this. These are senior officials in the Trump administration. This is not a game, Secretary.
I'm Attorney General.
My apologies, I couldn't tell. By 2008, we knew that Epstein was a convicted sexual abuser. And we now know that Lutnick went to Epstein's Island in 2012. How was that not a deal breaker for the president? And why aren't you asking questions of the Commerce Secretary about what he saw when he was at the island, which he lied about not ever going to? Why are you not asking these questions? And I see that my time is almost expired, so I will say this. Do the right thing, Attorney General. Meet with the survivors. They have been asking for a year. Meet with the survivors. Do the right thing. I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back. The gentleman from South Carolina is recognized for 5 minutes.
May I have 20 seconds of his time?
That'll be up to the gentleman, but...
Absolutely, Madam
Thank you. Thank you. I was curious if you, Congresswoman, asked Bill Clinton that. Didn't see one tweet, not one. I didn't see one tweet when Joe Biden was in office about Bill Clinton. Didn't ask Merrick Garland anything about Epstein, not once. When he was
weak sauce.
Also, I want the record to reflect that, with this anti-Semitic culture right now, she voted against a resolution condemning.
Oh,
he is Jewish. I just want to be clear.
Oh, do you want to go there, Attorney General? Or do you want to go there? Are you serious? Talking about anti-Semitism to a woman who lost her grandfather in the Holocaust?
I reclaim my time.
Really?
The biggest development since this House Judiciary Committee hearing is that Pam Bondi is no longer serving as Attorney General. On April 2, 2026, President Donald Trump removed Bondi from office and named Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche as acting Attorney General. Multiple news organizations reported that dissatisfaction with Bondi's leadership included criticism over the Justice Department's handling of the Jeffrey Epstein files, although the White House also pointed to broader concerns about her performance and execution of the administration's agenda. Her departure did not end congressional scrutiny. Instead, lawmakers intensified their oversight, subpoenaing Bondi and continuing to investigate how the Justice Department managed the release of Epstein-related records. Even after leaving office, Bondi remained at the center of the controversy. In late May, she appeared before House investigators for a closed-door interview, where lawmakers questioned her about the Justice Department's decisions regarding the Epstein files. According to reports released after that interview, Bondi said that Todd Blanche had been in charge of the release process, a statement that immediately shifted attention toward the department's new leadership. Meanwhile, disputes over what records have been released and whether additional documents should be made public continue to fuel political and legal battles. Against that backdrop, this exchange between Representative Becca Balint and Attorney General Bondi takes on even greater significance. Balint repeatedly pressed Bondi with a series of direct yes or no questions about whether the Justice Department had interviewed Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick and other senior Trump administration officials regarding their reported associations with Jeffrey Epstein. Rather than answering directly, Bondi repeatedly responded that Lutnick had already addressed the issue publicly. As Balint continued pressing for a clear answer, the hearing became increasingly confrontational, with interruptions from other members and repeated disputes over reclaiming speaking time. What began as a narrow oversight question quickly evolved into one of the most heated moments of the hearing. At the heart of the disagreement was not simply whether certain officials had ever interacted with Jeffrey Epstein. The larger issue was whether the Justice Department had applied the same investigative standard to senior government officials that it would expect in other high-profile cases. Balint argued that Americans deserve transparency whenever questions involve individuals serving in the highest levels of government. Bondi, however, resisted the premise of the questioning and challenged the characterization of ties, suggesting that publicly acknowledged associations did not automatically justify further Justice Department action. It's also important to distinguish association from criminal liability. Throughout the hearing, lawmakers referred to names appearing in Epstein-related records and past associations with Epstein. However, being named in documents, having met Epstein, or being mentioned during investigations does not by itself establish criminal conduct. The hearing did not present evidence proving that the officials discussed had committed crimes, nor did Bondi confirm that the Justice Department had opened investigations into them. Much of the exchange centered on oversight, public accountability, and whether additional questioning should have occurred, not on legal findings already reached by prosecutors or courts. Since this hearing, the controversy has continued to expand. Congressional committees are still seeking additional testimony and documents regarding the Justice Department's handling of the Epstein files, while legal disputes over access to unredacted records remain active. Just this week, New Mexico's Attorney General accused the Justice Department of delaying the release of unredacted Epstein documents needed for the state's investigation into activities at Epstein's former ranch, illustrating that disputes over transparency continue well beyond Washington. Ultimately, this hearing represents a much larger debate about public trust in government institutions. Supporters of Balint's questioning argue that senior public officials should face rigorous scrutiny whenever credible questions arise about their past associations, regardless of political affiliation. Supporters of Bondi counter that congressional oversight should be based on evidence rather than assumptions and caution against treating associations as proof of wrongdoing. Although Pam Bondi is no longer Attorney General, the underlying controversy has not disappeared. Investigations, oversight efforts, and court battles surrounding the Epstein files continue, meaning many of the questions raised during this hearing remain unresolved. As new records emerge and Congress continues its oversight, this issue is likely to remain one of the most politically charged debates involving the Justice Department.